that's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to pass straight over to our first speaker, Mr. Dowd, from PT Smart, and President Director of PT Smart, Agribusiness and Food, and he's going to talk to us for 5 or 6 minutes about PT Smart's journey to become a sustainable business in palm oil.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. I'm from PT Smart, as introduced by Alex, the subsidiary of Golden Agri Resources in Singapore. Our business is palm oil business, palm oil industry. So in the sustainable business in Asia, I'll focus my discussion in the palm oil industry. I'll try to define the sustainable business. What I'll try to define is sustainable business is a business to meet present needs without harming the environment and without compromising the ability to provide the needs for the future generation. So here we are talking about three factors. That is the profit, planet, and the people. Where these three factors are overlaps, that is the sustainable business. Now, since I'm from the palm oil industry, let us see and let us focus on the vegetables oil. From the fourth major vegetable oil, the world demand of four major vegetable oils, which increase from year to year, the increase of the demand is always met by the production of the vegetable oil. That means the expansion, the land expansion. Now, how do we see this from the industry point of view? The world vegetable oil demand is about 120 million ton in a year, and palm oil contributes 39% of this 120 million ton demand or consumption. Of this, palm oil only use 7% of the land used for the vegetable oil, which is 170 million hectares. So if I can repeat, the world consumption of vegetable oil is about 120 million ton, where palm oil contributes 39%. And for the land use, the total land use for the four major vegetable oils is about 170 million hectares. And palm oil use 7% of the land used for the vegetable oil. That means palm oil is the most efficient crop production in the vegetable oil. Since I'm from PT Smart, let me discuss about the sustainability policies of PT Smart. PT Smart has been by the way, we are one of the biggest. I'm not saying we are the biggest. We are one of the biggest palm oil industry in Indonesia, and we have about 430,000 hectares planted, of which about 110,000 hectares is smallholders. We have been doing our operation in a sustainable way from the beginning. Are we perfect? No, we are not perfect. But we are committed to taking the leadership role in finding solutions to ensure the long-term and sustainable growth of the palm oil industry in Indonesia, the growth of the Indonesian economy, and to improve the life of our people. Well, palm industry is a I would say, labor intensive, and it creates jobs. It also creates poverty alleviation for Indonesia. So far, with the total 7.5, 7.6 hectares of oil palm planted in Indonesia, there are about 4 million manpower working for oil palm industry. Now let us see PT Smart sustainability policy, which we hope that this policy can also be adopted by the industry, not only in Indonesia, but also in the region. Our sustainable policy is, the first one is will conformity in line, in the corridor with the government regulation. The second one is the local community engagement. We have to engage with the local community in the way of improve the livelihood of the community and education for the children. Without livelihood improvement, there will be poverty everywhere in Indonesia, and there will be shifting cultivation that we can, quite difficult to control. And education is also the most important issue for our country. The better education, then they know what to do and what not to do. The third is the optimizing the usage of the natural resources. The important thing of this issue is yield improvement. I did mention that consumption increase, but the rate and production always meet the consumption. But the growth rate of the consumption is greater than the growth rate of the production. That means yield improvement is one of the most important things. The fourth item that I put here is sustainable operation. Our company, we are not doing burning since 1997. We are not doing pit since February 2009. We are not doing HCV based on RSPO principle and criteria. HCV is high carbon value forest or area. And the last policy is we are not planting on high carbon stock forest. This is how to conserve the forest. So with these policies, with these PT Smart policies, we cannot do it alone. We cannot do it alone. We have to do it together.
Mr. Dowd, can I ask you to pause there? We take some opening comments from the rest of the panel, and then we'll come back to the second round of discussion.
1 minute.
1 minute, okay.
The key success of this policy is there got to be a common understanding of the global sustainability. There got to be a support from the government by way of rules and regulation. There got to be the support from the key players of the palm oil industry. The palm oil industry got to buy this idea, and there got to be a support from the other stakeholder. Without this, the success is almost impossible. Thank you.
Well, that certainly sets the agenda and shows how a company can set out a consistent set of policies and implement them. Let's move on to Darren, who is Director of Sustainability Asia Pacific for SAP, and very appropriately Darren Green. So I'm sure that's not the first time that terrible joke's been made. But Darren, you can help companies do this as well. So 5 minutes, please, on.
Okay. So very quickly, SAP is the largest application vendor in the world of business applications. About 65% of the world's GDP runs through our systems every day. We have sort of 100,000 customers, and at our last survey, about 1/3 of all man-made, 1/6 of all man-made emissions come from our customers. So we've got quite a large responsibility to improve their operations, to make even incremental changes. If we can make them 10% more efficient, that's a really big impact for us. So we don't see the problem for us as a green IT issue. It's a supply chain. It's how you do business. And in order to facilitate that, what we need our customers to understand is that sustainability and I'm probably going to get shot for saying this, it's not about the environment, it's not about polar bears, it's not about all these things. It's a vastly bigger